Microeconomics exam corrections. This is question 1. I'm going to do all 15 questions, probably on multiple videos, all right? So this was the exam that you took on Thursday, December 12 of last year. Okay, let's get going. So question 1 reads, use the given supply and demand schedules for bicycles to answer questions A through L. By supply and demand schedules, we mean the 3 columns here. So A asks, what is the equilibrium price of bicycles? Well, the equilibrium price of bicycle is $500 because, well, QD is equal to QS. 1B reads, what is the equilibrium quantity of bicycles? Well, as you see, at this price here, quantity demanded is 50 and quantity supplied is 50. There's neither a surplus nor a deficit. So that's equilibrium quantity, 50. Question 1C reads, if the price of bicycles were 400, is there a surplus or a shortage? Well, let's see. At a price of 400, which is not the equilibrium price because the equilibrium price is 500, we have a quantity demanded of 55 and a quantity supplied of 40. So we have this condition here, QD is greater than QS. So we have a shortage. Question 1D reads, if the price of bicycles were to be 400, how many units of surplus or shortage are there? So once again, we go to this price of 400, which is not the equilibrium price, and we notice that quantity demanded is greater than quantity supplied by how many units? By 15 units. In other words, the shortage is equal to 15 units. Question 1E reads, if the price of bicycles were, again, 400, will this cause the price to rise or fall? Well, again, at a price of 400, quantity demanded is greater than quantity supplied. So once again, we have a shortage, and in a shortage, there is a upward price pressure. So the price would, well, if there was nothing in the way, the price would rise. With question 1F, if the price of bicycles were to be 800, is there a surplus or a shortage? Well, at a price of 800, we have quantity demanded of 35 and quantity supplied of 80. So quantity supplied is greater than quantity demanded. So we have a surplus. The answer is surplus. Question 1G. If the price of bicycles were to be 800, how many units of surplus or shortage are there? Well, we've already established that at a price of 800, which is not the equilibrium price, quantity supplied is greater than quantity demanded. So there is a surplus, and the surplus is equal to 45. Question 1H is, if the price of bicycles were 800 again, will this cause the price to rise or fall? Once again, quantity supplied, 80, is greater than quantity demanded, 35. So there's a surplus. And we do know that whenever there's a surplus, there's downward price pressure. So there'll be a tendency for the price to fall. Question 1I reads, in response to lobbying by the Green Party, the government sets a price ceiling of 700 bicycles. What effect will this have on the market for bicycles? I told you in class on a couple of occasions that you should first test out whether a price ceiling or price floor, in this case price ceiling, is binding or non-binding. So let's see. Price, quantity, demand, supply, equilibrium, equilibrium price. What is the equilibrium price? It's 500. And what is the equilibrium quantity? It's 50. Different color. And now the government sets a price ceiling of $700. So where's the price ceiling? The price ceiling, you notice, which is $700, is above the equilibrium price, which means that the price ceiling is not effective. It's ineffective. It's non-binding because this price ceiling of 700 does not interfere with equilibrium, which means that the market will stay at equilibrium. So in answer to 1I, the answer is there is no effect whatsoever of this price ceiling because it's non-binding. And again, for a price ceiling to be binding, it has to be below the equilibrium price. Question 1J reads, what result would a price ceiling of 300 have on the bicycle market? So again, it's best to first test whether this is a binding or a non-binding price ceiling. So once again, the equilibrium price is $500. Again, quantity is 50. And the price ceiling, let me switch colors. The price ceiling is 300. There is the price ceiling. P for price, C for ceiling, 300. So is this a binding price ceiling? It is indeed a binding price ceiling because the market cannot reestablish equilibrium. So what result would a price ceiling of $300 have on the price ceiling? Well, we see that at a price ceiling of 300, which is the maximum price, QD would be 60 and QS would be 30. So QD is greater than QS, so there would be a shortage. A shortage of 30 units. Okay. 1K reads, does a price ceiling of $300 on bicycles make all bicycle buyers better off? So once again, let's see. At a price ceiling of 300, we have QD of 60 and a QS of 30. So again, we have a shortage. And again, the question reads, does a price ceiling of 300 make does it make all bicycle buyers better off? No, it does not. It makes some bicycle buyers better off because they no longer have to pay the equilibrium price of 500. They can now pay the price ceiling of 30. But that's not all. Not all of the bicycle buyers. Some are met with this shortage. So in answer to your question, in answer to my question, does this price ceiling make all bicycle buyers better off? The answer is, once again, no. This is the last part of question 1. And the question reads, suppose instead, in response to lobbying by the bicycle manufacturers, I misspelled that. There's only one S there. Association. Congress imposes a price floor on bicycles of $700. What is the result of the $700 price floor? So we're dealing with a price floor. And let's test whether it's a binding or a non-binding price floor. So here's a market diagram again. Price, quantity, demand, supply. Again, the equilibrium price is, there's the equilibrium price again. It's 500. And where's the price? And in blue here, where's the price floor? The price floor is at 700. So PF, price floor, is equal to $700. Price floor, as the term indicates, is the minimum price. So is this a binding price floor? The answer is yes, because the market is not able to reestablish equilibrium. But the question reads, what is the result of this $700 price floor? First of all, it's a binding price floor, true, but that's not the complete answer. For that, we have to look at 700, that's the price floor. And what do we notice? We notice that that QD is 40, QS is 70, so there is a surplus. And the surplus is equal to 30 units. That's the difference between QS and QD. And of course, there would be, since there's a surplus, there would be downward price pressure. But this downward price pressure, well, it won't do anything because this price floor is in the way. Okay, so I just finished question 1, which I will post on Teams, which you will have access to. And next is question 2, which I will also post as a YouTube video. I'm posting the links, obviously.